Welcome to Life Lessons, where who you are matters more than what you do. On this channel, you have an opportunity to meet professionals who share their lived experience and lessons learned. I thank you so much for watching today. I'm actually getting ready to go into Home Goods to meet a great friend of mine, Esh Kenion, who focuses on interior design. Why, you may ask, is today's episode different? Because today is National Make Life Beautiful Day. So today we're going to focus on what can you do to focus on beautifying your environment, whether it's your living environment, whether it's your work environment. There are ways to make small changes, whether it has to do with patterns or colors, in order to shift your mood, and that even have specific connection to spirituality. So I hope you enjoy today's lesson.
With co-workers and how designers are afraid at the beginning of their stages of working with different sides of patterns, and how people are really skeptical about using patterns, and they don't want to go towards that because they think it's too gaudy or too messy. So with patterns, you have to know your sizes, like your large, medium, and small patterns. So with knowing that, don't be afraid of patterns. There are really good patterns out there that you can work with, and you can make it work with whatever room that you're doing. Okay. So that's one of the things that I was just learning now a few minutes ago and last week about patterns.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're here at Home Goods, you guys. Just walking around and finding great things to make life beautiful.
Absolutely. I haven't been in here in a while, so I'm a little excited. I can get lost in here really quick, really easy. So I have to stay with a focus, get an idea real quick in my head of what room that I want to work with. Like, for instance, it could be a bedroom, a living room, a dining room, or just a small area that you really wanted to enhance. So stay focused on that room, get your measurements, get your measuring tape, measure out your space, and know what you're working with. Whenever you're walking into a store, always stay focused, because for me, I'll get lost.
I mean, Home Goods does have a lot of great stuff, in order to make your environment and to shift the vibes or the mood of the space that you're in.
Exactly. So right now, what we're doing is we're just like walking around the store right now, getting ideas in our heads of what we want to do. For instance, like for me, I'm doing my living room right now. My colors are blue, navy blue, white, and gold. Those are my colors. I can mix it up with camel colors and natural tone colors. I could put a little orange in there if I wanted to, and a little yellow if I wanted to, just to give it a little more color. So that way I'm not always just sticking with the main theme, just like break it up in each room. I mean, those are my colors for each room, but I just want to break it up just a little bit. Like with the pillows, the blankets, the rug, and it's just fun doing that.
I'll tell you, pink, though, is also a nice color on you, too, though.
Yes. With
nice, friendly color.
Pink?
Yep.
Yes, I love pink. I needed something just to cheer me up today. And so I just chose pink and with some khaki colors just to give myself a little pep. Been a little busy, that's why.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm talking about with regards to colors, you guys. Colors really can affect mood in a positive way. Even today, even though it's a Saturday, it's still a beautiful day, but it is a little cloudy. So you can cheer up your day, even your mood, with a change of color.
Yes, absolutely. Like if you're going to stay with blue, you got to make sure that it's not a moody blue or a sad looking blue, because people can get depressed. So that's why I chose with pink today, because pink is just a little vibrant, a little lighter, a little softer, a little more friendlier for me today. For me. Oh wow. Look at this stuff. Look at this. Ah. And see, yellow can always make you happy. Love yellow tones. I can use these tones in my room. It's real easy. Okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some patterns together. I'm gonna get those patterns of different textures, and then I will show you exactly what we're gonna be doing today. When you're in a store like Home Goods, the thing that you have to also remember is you have little vignettes. You have little settings that you can play with. Bring your ottomans over. Bring your candlesticks and your pillows and your topiaries. Watch your back, so what that does, it gives you an idea of what is going on in that room. So for instance, my walls are white. And because my walls are white, I have the opportunity of taking this navy blue, which is representation. It could be a representation of the couch itself. And so I just brought the pillows over. I picked another pattern that has all the colors that are in my room, which is the blue, the gold, and the white. It's a little off-white, but it still works. Then you have this other pattern that's right here in the pillow. It's a little smaller. It's a medium-sized pattern than the large pattern. Like if I'm going to use a large pattern, it's going to probably be on a pillow, or it's going to be on the rug, or it's going to be on the ottoman. So it gives me an idea of a visual of what my room could look like. So I just want to see how this pillow looks. Then I got my accessories right here, like the candlestick. And you got your plant, your topiary right here. And it gives you an idea of what the room could look like. It could go up against a wall, a small wall. So that way it fills that space up. Well, not too much. You don't want to do too much with a small space like that. You want to keep it really simple, and you don't want to overload it with too many knickknacks. So this is a good idea of how a room in a small space could look. And then you also have the opportunity of switching it up. I can switch up the pillows just to get ideas. Ideas still in my color concept of the blue, white, and gold, still in the concept of the same thing in the room, and it gives you a different look. It's a little something different texture, and I can still switch it up. Bring as many colors as you want over. Don't be afraid to mix up the patterns. Like this pattern right here is a little larger than this pattern that's right here. Still okay, still fine. Still play around with it so that way you get different ideas on pillows, blankets, or rugs. And that way you can say, hey, I think I like this pillow. I'm gonna take this pillow because I already have this couch color at home already. And if I want to take the candlesticks, I can switch up the candlesticks. And if I don't like the color of the candlesticks, don't be intimidated of not buying it. Go get some spray paint. Spray it a different color. It could be black. It could be gold. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't want this candlestick, but I can take it home and I can make it a different color. I can paint it. So that way it gives you a whole different look. So you don't have to go with what you see in front of you. And a lot of people feel like, hey, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna leave it. For me, I see an opportunity I can change it and make it better.
Now, can I ask you this? Do you make changes to your space depending on the seasons?
Yes, I do that. I get a little chest. I get a little container. So what I'll do is I'll switch it up for the summer, for the spring, for the fall. So that way it's not the same constant look all year round. Because you can get depressed with that. And it could make you a little bit sad because it's the same thing constantly. And people don't realize that. When you're still using the same thing year after year after year, you do start to feel a little bit different towards your setting of your room. Switch it up. Like earlier, I was telling Dr. Cunningham, switch up the pillow. It could be, you could just switch the pillow out, depending on your budget. Don't worry about changing the whole entire room because you don't have to do that. Maybe you're on a budget and you're saying only have a few dollars to buy a pillow, buy a little throw rug, buy a throw blanket. And that little change can change the mood of the room. it can make you a little bit more happier, a little more cheerful. Just pick some colors that's going to enhance the room. For me, I like blue. Blue is my favorite color. And then again, you can switch it up right here. Now I know this is not going to work, so I will have to switch this out with a different one. It could be a plain color, or I could just leave it as is. You don't even have to have a footstool if you don't want to. And you can just have this one. And it gives a whole different look. Still in the same color. Even though this is like a greenish blue, switch it up again. Your walls are white. Don't worry about it. With a plain white background, some people might say it's too much, it's too neutral. You can always play around with a picture. The picture on the wall can also enhance a clock. Anything that goes on the wall can enhance the room. Don't leave it bare, because if you leave it too plain and there's no life to the room, you can't get depressed.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that really constantly changing colors or changing something about the room actually keeps the life in the room, so to speak.
Correct.
And it keeps the the visual eye of the room interesting.
Correct.
Okay, and that can affect the mood in a positive way.
And then also with the guidance of my apostle, at the beginning of my stages of decorating and being afraid of change, I had to sit down, think about what I wanted to do in that room. I let the room talk to me, not me talk to the room. I sat down with a pencil and paper and I wrote down all my ideas and my color. Again, the color of what you want to do on the room. I made sure that I put down my color on my walls first, and then the rest of the other colors that I wanted to work with. And it just so happened, one of the colors I really didn't like so much, it was the one color that she had suggested that I live with for a while. And that color was green.
Ah.
Green means life spiritually. And without that color in my room, I think I would have been a little bit more down, and I wouldn't be in the place that I'm at right now. And my house definitely had a lot of life to it. And it was just amazing. Just by that one color, I was more cheerful in the house, and my house had more feeling of comfort. And when people came over, they felt that, and they got more relaxed, and they felt life in the house. That's why I have plants in my house.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. This right here can go into an office. It can go in a living room area. We can give quite different looks, so that way I give you an idea of how you can change things up. You make it a little bit more modern, so that way you just keep it streamlined, clean line. See how the light, the sculpture of the light speaks for itself. It's like a sculpture with the light. So that way it's not taking up too much space, but yet and still it enhances the space with the lighting. Keeping it a little simple again with this right here, we have two different levels. And you can always put plants on here. You can put little sculptures on here, so that way it gives the room a little bit more life to it. If it has a color to it, it's okay to add a little color to it. For an example, like this right here, the greenery comes in. It has a modern clean lines, but at the same time, I can take this and bring it over here to get an idea. It doesn't have to sit on this right here. This gives a whole natural look, earthy look, enhance it with some color, so that way the room is not too bland. That can go right on the wall. Again with the candlesticks again, and a little lighting right here. So that way it definitely enhances the room. you can switch, mix and match. So if you do want a little color in here, and you find something like this without the gold and you want silver, you can always switch that out to silver if you wanted to. Doesn't have to stay there. You can bring it right over here to the modern, because it's like a sculpture, different sizes. Again, 3D pattern. You got circles. You got circles again. You got straight lines, straight clean lines. But this right here looks a little pottery, but it's okay. You can always switch it up again. If you find something that has a little bit more clean lines to it, where it doesn't have the curves of this right here, go for it. Play around with things again in the store. When you come in a store like this, you have a right to go and make little vignettes. And that way it gives you ideas on how you can switch up and you can bring that into your home. And this makes me happy. Looking at this right here, it's very cheerful. And I can look at it, it has a 3D effect. You got 3 different sizes of circles. It gives me ideas. Oh, you got this straight line right here, and you got the curves right here. It keeps your mind going. You don't have to stick with one shape. Switch it up, circles, whatever you see, squares, rectangles. So that way it's not all the same repetitious thing in the house. And this right here, this has different curved lines. It's more natural wood. I will stare at that, and that will keep my mind going. That'll keep my mind moving. Because I'm wondering, wow, when I was a kid, that's the tree I used to climb. I want to go outside and climb a tree. I want to go walking. I want to go hiking. Things like that. So it strikes your interest in things like that. So that way your mind is just not staying with one direct pattern or what's going on in the room. And it's not so bland.
But it also sounds like you're saying that there are conversation pieces as well.
Exactly.
So then you can engage. It's not only to keep the mind engaged, but also can engage in relationship to have a discussion about a particular piece in your room or your house.
Correct. So when people come over, they're like, "Oh, where'd you get this from?" I went to the store, I found this, and and it made me think about the woods. It made me think about going hiking. And then sometimes I do go hiking. I still do that.
Yeah, I love hiking myself. Sleeping Giant, one of my places. When I used to live in Vermont, I used to go to Mount Monadnock as well.
Wow.
It's about like 4,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of a cool experience being able to go there. It's like a full day experience. Literally having to have the backpack, having to make sure it's like a gallon of water, at least a few granola bars, at least, and maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich too.
Exactly.
Bug spray, But it's a lot of fun though.
Getting out in the nature, getting some fresh air, going hiking with friends, family, even if it's by yourself, it's a great opportunity to go do it. Just do it. Don't think about it.
Okay, so we definitely got a lot of great tips from Esh today.
Yes.
Regarding design and our space and how it helps our mood. And so we're actually getting ready to go now. So, if you would like to connect with him, please make sure that you look at his information. That's going to be underneath the title of the video, okay, over on YouTube. And you'll be able to connect with him, okay?
Absolutely.
And it was great to see you today, Ish.
It was
Thank you
nice
so much
seeing
for
you.
everything that you shared.
Anytime.
And we're definitely going to have you on the show again.
Anytime. Just call me.
Cool. Okay.